This part is in continuation with 1.13 continuous charge distribution we are going to discuss. For instance, we consider a charge distribution, volume charge distribution. This volume charge distribution is divided into small unit volume element. This volume element, we would say, will have delta Q amount of charges. Now I want to find out what would be the electric field at P. I have a method to find out electric field at P. How I am going to do, I am going to find out what amount of electric field is produced here at P due to this elemental volume. I find it. Then I add how many such elemental unit, volume elemental unit are there in the entire volume, entire object, and I can easily do that. This is what is called calculus. In calculus, though the volume, the value E, for instance, if you find out what is the electric field at E, this electric field at E at P due to the entire body. I am not going to find out directly for the entire body. I am going to find out what is the electric field is produced due to a small elemental volume, and I can add it up. When I add, that time only calculus enters into our concepts. Calculus enters. First we find out a small amount and then we sum that. How many such a small element is there? For instance, again I go back to graph sheet only. You just imagine that I have made a sphere, a spherical ball using a graph sheet, right? Inside out. So inside I can see all these graph paper. Okay. So each millimeter part, that actually that is volume. That is what is called each millimeter cube, we can say. Some amount of charges will be there. Some amount of charges. I find what would be the electric field at P due to Q. I erase it. Okay, again we will do. Well, what amount of electric field is produced at P due to delta Q? Where is the delta Q? Delta Q is in delta V. Delta Q is in delta V. What is delta V? Small elemental volume. This volume is, if you go on adding delta V, 1, 2, 3, 4, finally what we will get? When delta V are summed together, we will get V. Delta V is dV. If you integrate that, we are going to get volume only. Integration is summation only, summation over, I have told you, right? Now, what is the field at P due to delta Q? One expression is there, you see. That is what is called a delta E. Delta E is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught delta Q by R square into R cap. Let it be equation number 1, which is in your page number 33, equation number 1.26. It is different than the previous step. I have written that. In your textbook, it is written as a rho delta V. That rho delta V we will write later. Delta E is equal to, that is the formula, delta E is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, delta Q by R square. Delta Q by R square into R cap. R cap. R cap, why we have done R cap? Because it is a vector. We have to give the direction also. Right? Now, we know that this delta Q, how can we write delta Q? Because we know that rho is equal to delta Q by delta V. Therefore, delta Q is equal to rho into delta V. Rho into delta V we can write. Rho into delta V. Now, substitute this equation 2 in 1. What you will be getting? Instead of delta Q, I am going to write rho into delta V. Now you can look at the page number 33, equation 1.26. Got it? That's all. So delta E vector is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Instead of delta Q, I write delta into rho into delta V by R square into R cap. R square into R cap we write. Well, now after substituting that, I get this equation. It is in what name it is there in our textbook? 1.26. 1.26. Page number 33. One step extra I have written, that's all. What about the total electric field now? This delta E, when this delta E would become E vector when I do the summation. What kind of symbol I have used? Summation. Summation of delta E, there is something is wrong. Delta E, over that you put one arrowhead, very small arrowhead. Yeah. Summation over delta E is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught summation over all delta V. Here down I have to write all delta V. Okay, I missed it. You write it. Okay, no problem. Right. All delta V summation over rho into delta V by R dash square. In the book they have used R dash square. R dash square. That's just to distinguish. You can even put R also. No problem. So summation over rho into delta V by R dash square into R cap. R cap. So you note that this rho, R dash and R dash cap all can vary from point to point. Because it will vary, no? How it will vary from point to point? Look at the diagram. This R is going to change. Suppose if you keep the point here, if you go on moving towards that, definitely R will change. When R changes, what will happen? The density, that particular part will vary. Rho will vary, R dash will vary, R dash cap will vary, the value will vary. But we should always let delta V tends to 0. And the sum then becomes the integral. Sum then becomes integral, we can say. But in previous classes, what we have learnt after the Coulomb's law, we used one principle, what is called the superposition principle. Now we are not going to use the superposition principle. We will be using the other methods also. In simplicity, Coulomb's law and superposition principle we have used. But here we are going to have somewhat advanced law, then Coulomb's law, which we are going to discuss next. So what we can note is rho, R dash and R dash cap all can vary from point to point. In strict mathematical method, we should let the delta V tends to 0. The sum then becomes an integral, but we omit the discussion. It is there in the textbook. I simply read. So that and all is beyond the scope of our present syllabus. We are not going to do that. In simplicity, what we can do is, we have Coulomb's law. Coulomb's law is applicable only for point charges. But when we have collection of charges, we need to modify this Coulomb's law. There is another modified form of Coulomb's law, which we are going to discuss next in the name of Gauss law. There we will be discussing elaborately. 1.14 will be followed by this discussion. Okay, sorry. This discussion will be followed by 1.14. Okay, now, Namaskar.